We have breaking information. Are you serious? Breaking information coming out of Egypt. I want to thank Sheila of Alabama for this report, but a Muslim Brotherhood leader, Mohammed Badie, has been arrested. That's Muslim Brotherhood spiritual leader has been detained in Egypt. Mohammed Badie. Egypt today, on this August the 20th, 2013, announced the arrest of the supreme leader of the Muslim Brotherhood, dealing a serious blow to the Islamic group at a time when it is struggling to keep up its street protest against the ouster of President Mohammed Morsi in the face of a harsh crackdown by the authorities of the Egyptian army. Now, the Brotherhood spiritual guide, the Mohammed Badie, was arrested in an apartment at the eastern Cairo district of Nasser City, close to the location of the 6-week sit-in protest by supporters of Morsi, who also hails from the Islamist group. The encampment was cleared by security forces last Wednesday, as you'll remember, in a bloody day and a bloody weekend, along with other protest sites in Giza, in a raid that killed hundreds of people. Almost 1,000, about 850 people were killed in the entire raid to eliminate all of the protesting camps of the Muslim Brotherhood followers. Now, Mohammed Badie, arrested, is the latest stage in an escalating crackdown by authorities on the Muslim Brotherhood, in which hundreds have been arrested. The Brotherhood's near daily protest since Mohammed Morsi's ouster have somewhat come to a close, or almost was over, in the last 2 days, as there were scattered demonstrations in Cairo, elsewhere in the country, attracting hundreds, sometimes just dozens of protesters. Mohammed Morsi himself has been detained in an undisclosed location since the July 3rd military coup on behalf of 14 million Egyptian protesters, prompted by days-long protests by millions of Egyptians, millions, demonstrating against the President Morsi and his rule, which was Sharia law. He is facing accusations of conspiring with militant Palestinian Hamas and a group there from prison during the 2011 uprising. I would like to play a video, a little bit of a video. This is Pastor K.D. Collins. I'm going to play audio as he was explaining to his congregation there at the Harvest Army Church of New York. And he has a tremendously great explanation. When the Arab Spring came, everybody got all excited about getting rid of Mubarak and let's get a new leader of our own. And they all embraced it as if this was the salvation of their culture. So they eliminated a man who had maintained a solid economic situation there in Egypt with tourism. The economy was flourishing. He had maintained that Sharia law, or that radical Islamists could not dictate the society, which included secular Muslims as well as Christians, Coptic Christians primarily, and a few scattered Jews. He kept the nation safe, and he kept Egypt at peace, honoring the peace agreement signed by Anwar Sadat and Israel's Prime Minister Menachem Begin, along with President Jimmy Carter, for 32 years, maintaining civility along the Gaza Strip, or along the Gaza border with Egypt and the Suez Canal, never threatening Israel and continuing to do the right thing. But people got caught up in the spirit of an uprising, and so they got what they wanted: a new king, a fierce king, a cruel Lord, as it says in Isaiah 19 verse 4. And then they realized they didn't like what they had. So listen to why they did this. Because they're seeking peace and seeking a way of life in the wrong people. They need to seek salvation through Jesus Christ. Listen to this. Here's Dr. Katie Collins, a little bit of explaining out of the Bronx, New York, to his congregation about the mystery of Egypt and the apocalypse.
We were prophesying when the whole world was jumping. We were here in Sunday morning service. And God said what the whole world jumping and shouting about is an enigma.
Enigma.
Is an Egyptian enigma.
An Egyptian enigma.
Enigma meaning failure and confusion.
Perverse
and
spirit?
Disappointment. That's why people need Christ.
1 second there, Dr. Katie Collins. You are exactly right. And folks, if you look in Isaiah 19, remember what the Lord prophesied and said. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit, or we could call it an Egyptian enigma, a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his own vomit. An enigma, an Egyptian enigma, or confusion. They need, he says, what Egypt needs is Christ.
And they all thought that this was freedom. And depose one Pharaoh and putting another one. They didn't know that what they saw, the whole world. You have to watch when the whole world loves something. Chosen democratically, later, and then became the main negotiator of the peace. As some of you, you're Holy Ghost people, you know. Became the main negotiator of the peace between Israel and the rest of the world. You have to understand, the whole world is for Gaza, so you have to understand the connection. It's loaded. And after gaining that truce or peace or whatever they call it, realizing that I am somebody, and then decreeing that as of today, I am the king of the south. And yeah.
So as Dr. Katie Collins was explaining, they got rid of one Pharaoh and replaced him with another. Egypt is in no better shape than they were. And when President Obama, who was endorsing this entire Arab Spring, remember Obama's visit to Cairo just after being elected president? Only been in the office, 5 months when he showed up, or 6 months when he showed up there in July of 2009. 200,000 Egyptians stood in the streets of Cairo to listen to his famous speech of the Great Society of Islam, and how the architectural paintings and sculptures and great scientific discoveries had come from the people of Islam. He fired up. He lit a fire of what eventually became, 2 years later, the Arab Spring. The destruction of Tunisia's President Ben Ali after 23 years. The fall of Hosni Mubarak of Egypt after 32 years. The overthrow, with the help of NATO, of 42-year dictator Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. The end of Ali al-Saleh of Yemen after 14 years. All of them removed under the spirit, a perverse spirit of the Muslim Brotherhood, called, disguised, the Arab Spring. It was not an Arab Spring. It was a perverse spirit. It was an enigma, as Dr. Collins says. It's an enigma, an Egyptian enigma. Now, having said that, let me tell you what. Now, we know that Mohammed Badie has been arrested, so the Muslim Brotherhood wastes no time in announcing a new leader. Iron Man. The Iron Man. Muslim Brotherhood put the Iron Man at the helm of the Muslim Brotherhood. Egypt's embattled Muslim Brotherhood today, August the 20th, 2013, has named a new hardline, a new general guide as their new leader. They know him as the Iron Man. He is Mohammed Izzat. That's E-Z-Z-A-T. That's Mohammed Izzat. A 69-year-old doctor came amid a deepening crackdown in the Islamic movement of the ouster of Muhammad Morsi. He is now the new leader of the Muslim Brotherhood, as Mohammed Badie has been incarcerated and arrested and is being detained. I want to thank Reverend Gary of Kentucky. I want to thank Penny of Virginia for this information. Something biblical, folks, is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. And you want to give your life to Jesus Christ before it is too late. We are living in biblical, prophetic times. Remember, the comet Ison is still on its way. Soon you will visually see it as it nears the sun, illuminates brighter than the moon, and arrives on the anniversary of the date that Israel was voted to become a state, a non-member state, on November 29th, 1947. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. Give your life to Jesus Christ.